To the Femme Spot. We have so much that we want to talk to you guys about today, and we have a lot of your questions that we want to address on our show today. So how are you ladies doing?
I'm doing great. It was a great weekend.
Yes, we were at the Winter Film Awards yesterday, which was great, and we were able to see a fashion show as well there. So, but let's get started on the topics. We weren't here on Sunday, obviously, to cover Oscars because they happened after our show. But as I'm sure all of you heard the speech that Patricia Arquette, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, said when she won Best Supporting Actress for her role in Boyhood. Do you guys remember what she said?
What she said?
No. Okay, so I'll tell you guys. She said, while accepting her speech, damn it, when your iPad locks. She said, it's our time to have wage equality once and for all and equal rights for women in the United States of America. Now, I also wrote an article on this, which I gave a couple facts, and, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it to see what you think. And just to bring up one of the facts, we can't go into everything on this show, but American Hustle, the men in that movie leave with 9% of the profits. So 9% of the profits that come in, that's the percentage they get from the film. Now the women on the film get only 5%. So you see the difference there.
Yes, I did hear about
Yes, so I'm sure you heard about it. There was some controversy with Amy Adams. She didn't want to discuss that when she was doing interviews regarding the film. That was something she didn't want to talk about. So, I think it's very interesting, and I applaud her for bringing this up during the Oscars because it is an important topic to discuss. The fact that is going on in this country.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with education because even if you look at the facts with education, we have enrollment for women, it's 76%. In 2012 versus men, which is 62%. But you have at these levels where education plays a role, let's say higher education, lawyers or doctors, there's still a gap with pay. So what are your thoughts on that?
I obviously think that it's unfair, and it's probably going to be that way for a very long time until everybody gets tired of it. Like, it's not something that one person can complain about while everyone else is accepting it, because then it's like, who are you? Everyone else is dealing with it. It's just not fair. It's not fair. I don't like it.
I agree.
I think there will be change soon. I mean, for example, look who's running for president. So, there's possibly women running for president for next year, and there was a black president. No one would ever think that would be possible. So something small like that, I think it will be a change. I think it's still unfair that now women actresses are still getting paid less than actors in the industry.
Which that American Hustle is just one example of that. I just want to make that clear. It's just one example of the pay inequality within Hollywood. So and it reflects in other areas as well. And just like you mentioned, Hillary Clinton is possibly going to run for president, which would be huge. Even if she runs, and doesn't win, I think it's still something that should be celebrated regardless of yes, but regardless of if she wins or not, I think it's something that should be celebrated.
It's good to know that women have a voice now. Like, they're not just going to sit back and be weak and feeble.
Yes.
I'm sorry. But, they're speaking up for what they believe is right, and I don't like that you're treating me differently or you're going to sexually harass me and, things like that. So it's good.
Yes. And I've had a lot of debates during the week about this because I'm very passionate about it. And, some people are like, this is a male-driven country. It's just the way it's going to be. And I don't agree with that. I think we can have a balance. It's not about someone being better than the other or higher than the other. I think we can have a balance. I think we'll work better that way.
I don't even fully believe that it's a male-driven country because men don't do it on their own either. Like, I'm not saying that, there's always a woman behind a man, but there's always someone pushing that. It's not just you.
Yeah, so I agree. But overall, there is change coming, and I applaud her for bringing that up during the Oscars. And there was a lot of inspiration, which you're going to talk about the fashion in a moment.
Yeah.
But next thing I want to talk to you guys about, still regarding Hollywood, fat shaming. Right? So there's a film coming out that's called Trainwreck with Amy, I can't pronounce her last name, is Schumer? I'll get it. Schumer. There we go. And the film revolves around her, and she's a single, passionate woman who's open to sexual experiences. So in the media, it happens where you have actresses like this who take the lead. You'll hear things like from the Hollywood elsewhere, and I quote, "With Trainwreck, the director is once again introducing a chubby, whip-smart, not conventionally attractive, neurotically bothered female comic to a mass audience." Okay, so she gave an eloquent response. She said, "I am a size 6 and I have no plans of changing it. This is it. Stay on it or get off. Kisses." She is a size 6.
She's not even big.
That's not even
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
You
They
know?
want you to be like a size 0 to 4. Like there are models, like it's sample size.
Yes, and you know what I think, she should be able to lead. You shouldn't have to look a particular way to have the lead role. If she's funny and she fits with the director, the writer, she fits their vision, then why not? Why does it always have to happen where, even with Lena Dunham, with Melissa McCarthy, they focus on, oh, well, she's big. No, why don't you look at the talent? If it's funny, if this is what it's supposed to be about, let it be about that. You don't have to be the stereotype to be the lead.
Exactly. And if they're not usually the usual Hollywood look, they're actually, when they start their career out, people look at that as just them. They're known for their weight. And sometimes they just take it because of obviously they're paid. That's the role that they're able to get. And they just rub it off. But then when they get lashback, I love how sometimes they speak out. Like I know Gasmy Sizemore, when they were saying things about her weight, she took it as she was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna cry in my private jet," So
laugh to the bank. No,
yes,
I agree. But it's sad that this is what goes on in Hollywood, and that's why you have.
Last week with the Duff movie, it's like, why does everything have to be about a weight?
Yes.
Like it's bad enough that small people are worrying about getting bigger, big people are worried about getting smaller. The medium-sized one think that there's something. Leave your weight alone. Why?
I mean, there is an issue, and I will say this as well. There is an issue with obesity in this country.
I mean,
but a
obesity.
size 6 does not. You shouldn't. Yes, you shouldn't, because there is an issue with that. And we want to promote health and fitness. We don't want to promote anything other than that.
You need to be comfortable in your own skin as well.
Yes. And a size 6 is not.
The average woman isn't a size 0.
They're not.
Exactly. So I'm glad we agree on that. So the next thing I want to talk about, we have to save time for some politics. Okay. So I'm sure you ladies heard on Friday, Homeland Security voted to extend the funding. Congress voted to extend the funding for Homeland Security for another week. Now, this has been a big issue because once again, we're seeing this wedge in politics and bipartisan behavior and something with Homeland Security where we're securing our borders and the possibility that people were going to go to work tomorrow without getting paid. It's a trickle effect on our economy. These people don't get paid. They can't pay their bills, and it just goes downhill from there. And I think it's shameful that we can't agree on certain things that are extremely important. Like security is something that we shouldn't be having bipartisan issues about. Yeah. We should be
on the same page as far as keeping our borders.
Exactly. And I think, put aside whether you're a Democrat or Republican, don't you want to save country? Don't you want to get to the issues that are more important with what's going on in the Middle East? Like, we have so much going on, especially with the war on terrorism, that we need to be able to, security should be a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what do you ladies think about that?
It's already hard enough to just watch and confiscate anything that illegal that's coming into the United States alone. And for that to now be the new thing, it's kind of scary.
Yes.
Because, I don't want to say that this is legit. I didn't read all the way into it, but I just read that there were oranges that were shipped in with AIDS injected inside of it.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
Inside the oranges, yeah. So that's pretty scary that it got across.
Again, it makes our country look weak and divided, though.
And that's what I mean by wedge politics, and that's what a lot of media likes to do. They will offend, let's say, we would offend Democrats and then get all Republicans on our side and have you guys as our viewers. And we need to get together as a country. It doesn't matter, which party you're a part of. Yes. So, and in a couple of months, Congress is going to have to make another vote on our funding and our deficit and everything else. And it's like we want to get it together with these things. You know what I mean? We don't want to worry about that. And this week, there was so much going on, so many developing news with what's going on with ISIS. And,
there's too much going on to focus, dividing your attention on Republican and Democrats.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and another thing is that, was reported that they wanted to approve the funding if the what Obama passed with the immigrants not being deported, like hauling that for a little bit for them not to be deported, and then allowing certain people to stay for, that would be a whole other conversation. We would have to explain that in detail. But they wanted, for example, if you take that out, then we'll approve the funding. Don't allow immigrants to stay here any longer. Deport whoever needs to be deported, and we'll approve the funding. Allegedly, that's what was reported. So we'll have a whole other conversation on immigration that we need to discuss.
Did you make a post on that?
A post on immigration, or
no? A post on being whatever is coming to America.
No.
What was the recent post you posted? I know you posted something for reviewers to hear about.
Oh, it was on Facebook. It was just regarding the funding, the Homeland Security funding. Yes, but that was pretty much it.
So you'll probably make another post on that to lead up to it.
Oh, of course. And again, we really want to know what you guys think. We want you guys to be involved. We want your thoughts and ideas to be heard. So, if there's a solution, if you can think of something, let us know.
Or if you want to put your input, you can message to our Facebook.
Yes. So, what do you have for us today?
Well, you remember last week we were talking